Today we're going to be talking about the peacock and how the peacock shows up in ancient art in the early centuries and throughout Orthodox Christian history. Now, I was recently gifted this icon from some friends at church, and I immediately saw, of course, Jesus blessing the children. But my attention was also drawn to the peacock because I have been reading about it and seeing it more and more over the last few years. Now, there was a folk belief that the peacock actually, its flesh wouldn't decay. And the peacock was used in art in Greco Roman circles. Some people think it came from the Far East. But this is what St. Augustine says about the peacock. He writes, "For who but God, the creator of all things, has given to the flesh of the peacock its antiseptic property? This property, when I first heard of it, seemed to me incredible, but it happened at Carthage that a bird of this kind was cooked and served up to me, and taking a suitable slice of flesh from its breast, I ordered it to be kept. And when it had been kept as many days as make any other flesh stinking, it was produced and set before me, and emitted no offensive smell. And after it had been laid by for 30 days and more, it was still in the same state, and a year after the same still, except that it was a little more shriveled and drier." And that comes from book 21, chapter 4. Now, I've never roasted up a peacock and let it sit out to see what happens. But what's interesting is the early Christians used the peacock as a symbol for everlasting life, for eternal immortal life, which is why it's also connected to the catacombs and to those places where Christians were oftentimes buried. It was a sign that Christ was going to call them out of the grave, like he did with Lazarus at the end of time, and bring forth their resurrected bodies. They would see in their flesh, as Job says, their Lord. And so it was a sign of hope. They also knew that they were given immortality at their baptisms, and that was going to be carried on into everlasting life. So you see peacocks flanking with the Cairo symbol in a Christian sarcophagus here at the Basilica of San Vitale in Ravenna, Italy. You also see other mosaics of the peacock. Here's a 4th century mosaic of a peacock, the Church of the Multiplication. Here is an example. Looks kind of Saxon in the 9th century of the peacocks pointing to the cross. Another example here where you can see that sort of weaving going on there. I mean, when I go to my own Orthodox church, I can find peacocks placed at key places to point to everlasting life. So it's a pretty cool symbol that you find in church architecture. Just outside of St. Peter's house in Capernaum, there's a courtyard decorated with a mosaic of the peacock. It's pretty big. It also makes you think of the animals in Eden when man and creation are living in perfect harmony with one another. If you listen to Saint Ephrem of Syria's account of creation, the animals are even paying Adam homage. For just as Israel could not look upon the face of Moses, neither were the animals able to look upon the radiance of Adam and Eve. At the time when they received names from him, they passed in front of Adam with their eyes down, since their eyes were incapable of taking in his glory. In paradise, man had the indwelling God as a dwelling place and wore him as a glorious garment. He was wrapped about with his grace. And like some one of the angels, he rejoiced in the enjoyment of that one sweet fruit, which is the contemplation of God. And by this, he was nourished. God established the tree of knowledge as judge, so that if Adam should eat from it, it might show him that rank which he had lost through his pride, and show him as well the low estate he had acquired to his torment. Whereas if he should overcome and conquer, it would robe him in glory. They're venerating him, which Satan did not want to do, by the way. And so he cast into his rebellion, according to that account. So anyways, the peacock points to paradise lost as well and paradise returning, which also involves immortality. If you go to the 2nd century catacombs of Priscilla, there's a fresco of Jesus as the Good Shepherd.
The largest painting in this room is in this shallow dome of the ceiling. And here in the center, we see Christ represented as the Good Shepherd.
We see peacocks, which are a symbol of eternal life. So Christ as in between the earthly and the heavenly.
So what we're seeing here is the very first tentative steps in what will become the great tradition of Christian art.
And I just did an interview with Michael Garten. He's got a whole chapter on Christ as Good Shepherd, chapter 9. Do you have an image in your book of the Good Shepherd there on the top?
There's several that I have in there.
Yeah.
So in looking at the baptistry, it does seem like it's marked for a kind of devotional use of images, and we can get more into that.
There you go. Chapter, oh, it's blurring out. What is that? Chapter 9, the Good Shepherd as early icons. There you go. Get his book, chapter 9. You can read all about it. It's a good chapter. The Wise Phone 2, which I currently use as my phone. It's an amazing phone that helps you not doom scroll or be addicted to social media and other vices because it doesn't have a web browser, but it does function like a phone. You can call, you can text, you can take pictures, you can do videos. It even has apps like Uber and Lyft. You can order food, maps to get around town, all the things that you kind of need in this modern life. While at the same time, being able to have a boundary between you and work or you and distractions. So you can be more present with your family, with your kids, with your spouse, whomever. This has been a very freeing experience for me to have the Wise Phone 2. Again, you can get $40 off through my discount code KING today. Definitely get this book and check it out. Early icons, Christian image veneration before 325 AD. So I hope this short video was helpful for you to see. This is why the peacock shows up in these various places. It's a sign of immortality, and it points to the immortal God, holy, mighty, holy, immortal. We should remember the hope that we have that God's going to make all things new. He's going to transfigure the creation. As St. Paul reminds us in Romans chapter 8, he's going to liberate creation from its decay. And that includes the sons of God, that is, human beings. He's going to resurrect us and give us a transfigured, glorious body. And the peacock points to this new reality, a new creation, a new body, and a reconfigured universe where God is at the center of all and in all and through all. And we look forward to that day, at the day of his return, when his holy foot will touch ground and make all things holy again. All right, guys, God bless. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.